Good morning, everybody. So today is Wednesday, April 7th, and we are on day 5 of our Wit and Wisdom Module 4. So I hope everybody had a great evening yesterday. It was absolutely gorgeous outside. Feels nice out there, nice weather. Hope you were able to get out and enjoy it a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to share my screen with you. Today's lesson is not that long. So we're actually going to start with our vocabulary video that we have not been able to do yet. Oops. We have listened to the book. We have heard the words. So now I feel like you can listen to the vocabulary video and know what not Miss Sabella Nowell is saying. So we're going to listen to that first. We're going to do the vocabulary video, and then we will do the lesson for today. All right, so here we go. Let's listen to the vocabulary instruction.
Hello, second grade friends, and welcome to Grade 2, Module 4, Vocabulary. I'm Mrs. Nowell. Today, we are practicing vocabulary for Focusing Question Arc 1. Let's begin. Our first word is nourish. Let's say nourish.
Nourish.
By looking at the icon, I can see a plant. And I know that a plant needs soil for food, and I also know that it needs water, and those things help it grow. Let's see what the definition of nourish is. Let's read the definition. The definition of nourish is to provide the food needed to live, grow, and stay healthy. So just like a plant needs soil to help it live and grow, nourish lets us know that it is the food needed to live, grow, and stay healthy. Now, let's listen to this word and definition in Spanish.
Nutrir significa brindar alimento necesario para vivir, crecer y estar saludable.
I love listening to our words in Spanish. Now, let's practice reading the word nourish in a sentence. Please follow along and listen as I read. Food can nourish my body and help me grow. Now, you try. Thank you for working on reading these sentences. Our next word is digest. Let's say digest.
Digest.
By looking at the icon, I see a stomach, and there is some food in the stomach. So it makes me wonder if digest has something to do with food, maybe breaking down into smaller pieces. Let's see what the definition says. Let's read the definition. The definition of digest is to break down food into materials the body can use. So it's taking that food, and as it goes through our digestion system, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller so that my body can use that. I like that word, digest. Now, let's listen to the word and definition in Spanish.
Digerir significa descomponer el alimento, transformándolo en materiales que el organismo puede aprovechar.
Fantastic. Let's practice reading the word digest in a sentence. Follow along and listen as I read it. Always allow some time after a meal for food to digest. Now you try. I wish I could hear you reading that sentence. Our next word is absorb. Let's say absorb.
Absorb.
By looking at the icon, I can see a sponge, and I know that a sponge absorbs water or it sucks all the water up. And I like to make a sound effect with that, which is so you can try making that sound effect too. Let's read the definition. The definition of absorb is to take in or soak up. I wonder if my body absorbs or soaks up things that I eat in food. I'm interested to learn that. Now, let's listen to the word and definition in Spanish.
Absorber significa atraer o retener.
Let's practice reading the word absorb in a sentence. Please listen and follow along as I read. I used a towel to absorb the water that was on the floor. Now you try. Now let's do one more practice. For this practice, I want you to practice the vocabulary with your learning partner. I will ask a question, and please answer in a complete sentence. My body digests food into smaller parts for my body to absorb. What is one thing you can do to help your body digest food? One thing that I can do to help my body digest food is... Now please pause the video and talk to your learning partner, explaining one thing that you can do to help your body digest food. I chose to answer this question like this. One thing that I can do to help my body digest food is chew my food really well. I wish I could hear what you said. Maybe you talked about taking smaller bites, or maybe you talked about waiting a little bit after a meal to let your food digest before going outside to play. To review, here are the 3 words we practiced today. Let's say them each one more time. Please say them after me. Nourish, digest, absorb. Please remember to use these words as much as you can when you're writing and speaking. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Thank you for doing great things, and thank you for using great vocabulary. Bye.
Okay, so that was our vocabulary video for the first several lessons. We are on day 5 today. All right, so before we start, though, we need to talk about our essential question. Our big question for Module 4 is, how does food nourish us? Remember that word nourish means to help us grow. Our medium-sized question for our text, the digestive system, is, how can food nourish my body? And then today, we are on lesson 5. Our small question, our content framing question is, what is happening in chapter 2 of the digestive system? So we're going to look at chapter 2 today. And we have a craft question, a writing question for today. We are going to experiment about how does speaking work to recount work, and how do we collect shared research to answer focusing question task 1. So those are our learning targeted questions for today. And we also have some focusing goals. We are going to describe the connection between the parts of the digestive system today. And we're going to answer a research question by conducting shared research in small groups today. So that's what we are going to work on today. So let's get back and start our video.
Welcome back, incredible thinkers. I'm Susabella, your Great Minds teacher. Let's see what we need for today. Today we'll need the digestive system, your journal, and a pencil. Please pause here to gather what you need and just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so you are going to need your journal and a pencil. We have a copy of the digestive system that we're going to show you on the screen. So just make sure you have your journal and a pencil.
Today, you're going to have a chance to be a researcher. Let's get started. This important question will continue to guide our thinking and our research. Please pause here to read the question to yourself and just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so what is that question? What does it say? How can food nourish my body?
What is happening in chapter 2 of this text? Today, you'll be gathering information as a researcher from chapter 2 to answer this question. How do I collect shared research to answer focusing question task 1? During our last lesson together, you had the opportunity to sketch the stomach and small intestine. You also wrote one job each organ does as part of the digestive system. So, as you continue your research today, you'll be able to look back at your journal and the text so you can gather this information on handout 4A. The directions tell us, use this evidence organizer to plan for focusing question task 1. You're already off to a great start because the last time you met with your classroom teacher, you had a chance to make a decision. You chose either focusing on the stomach or the small intestine. Just check handout 4A to make sure that you have the organ that you're researching circled. Pause here to check now. Just hit play when you're ready to continue.
Okay, so we need to stop right here. And you are going to need to open up your journals. We're going to go to page 170 today. Not sure what's going on there. You're going to go to page 170 today, and we're going to create handout 4A in our journal. Okay, so you are going to put today's date on the top, which is 4-7. You're going to write handout 4A, evidence organizer. And here's the part that Miss Sabella was just talking about. You're going to choose. Do you want to write about the stomach or do you want to write about the small intestines? Whichever one you decide, that's the going to circle. So if you choose to write about the stomach, you circle stomach. If you choose to write about small intestines, you circle small intestines. This is the question that we are working on, the research question. You will need to write this. What important jobs does this organ do as part of the digestive system? Now, yesterday, you found a job that the stomach does, and you found a job that the small intestines do. So you can go back to your page 168 or 169 and look at what you wrote. That could be the first one that you write in here. So you've already got that one. You will just need to look at the section of the text that you decide to do, stomach or small intestines, and find the second job that that organ does. Okay. And then the conclusion, why is part of the system important? So you are going to need to make sure that you write all of this on page 170 before we go any farther. So go ahead and pause the video, write down the chart, and then push play when you are ready to continue.
Now it's time to answer the research question for the organ that you circled. The question asks, what important jobs does this organ do as part of the digestive system? Because you're such a great observer and a close reader, you probably noticed the S at the end of the word job, which means it's plural. They're looking for more than one job that the organ does as part of the digestive system. As a researcher, you'll show 2 important jobs that your selected organ has as part of the digestive system. Next to number 1, you'll write down 1 important job this organ has as part of the digestive system. Next to number 2, you'll write down a second important job that this organ has as part of the digestive system. And remember, you'll be pulling information from your journal that you've already collected. And just like real researchers, it's always a great idea to go back to your sources, to this text. Read and reread until you understand the information and be choosy about the information that you write down next to number 1 and number 2. Please pause here to write down 2 important jobs this organ has as part of the digestive system. Just hit play when you're ready to wrap up today's lesson.
Okay, so what you need to do now, you can go back into the Google Classroom, find the text, the digestive system, up. There we go. Okay, and if you want to listen, or if you want to write about the stomach, then you are going to find the part that talks about the stomach. I'm pretty sure this is it, the food processor. It's talking about your mouth and your esophagus. Here we go. This is where it starts to talk about the stomach. So this is page 16. So page 16 is where you want to look if you want to write about the stomach. So page 16 and 17. And then on page 18, it starts to talk about the small intestines. So you are going to look on these 2 pages for the stomach and 2 pages for the small intestines. Ooh, there's more than 2 pages. There's 4 pages for the small intestines. And you are going to find 2 jobs for whichever one that you decide. Okay. All right.
Wow, you are so organized for focusing question task 1. You've selected the organ that you're researching, and you've jotted down evidence to show what the 2 important jobs are for that organ in the digestive system. You are off to a super start. I will see you soon, my friends.
Okay, so a lot of your work for today, you are going to be doing on your own, okay? You are going to be going back through those pages in the text, the digestive system, and you are going to be finding the 2 jobs for the organ you selected, okay? I can't do this part with you because if you choose a stomach and Bobby Joe over there chooses stomach, you both don't have to have the same oh my gosh, the word left my head. The same evidence. There we go. You could have 2 different pieces of evidence about the same organ. So I don't want to limit what you are choosing to write about. So you are going to choose. Do you want to write about the stomach or the small intestines? Do you want to, once you figure out what you want to write, you need to go back to those pages, identify the 2 jobs that the organ has, and then write it on page 170. Now, Miss Sabella didn't talk about the conclusion today, did she? So we're not working on the conclusion right now. We're just doing the 2 jobs, job 1 and job 2. Make sure you list them on your chart on page 170 in your journal. And you know what I forgot to do yesterday? I forgot completely to do our word of the day. And I apologize for that. So our word of the day today is small, like small intestine. It's the word small. So make sure in today's comments that you tell me that the word of the day is small. Alrighty. So that's all that we have for Wit and Wisdom today. I knew it was going to be a short lesson. And I will see you guys later for phonics. Bye.